Hello everyone, I'm Mrs. Aparna Vivek Futane from Bhavsar Vadhu Seva Bhav, Pune. I'm here to explain how to fill up the Google form of Vadhu Melawa, which is going to be held on 22nd May 2022. To fill in the Google form, the link will be provided to you all on your WhatsApp number. Then from this, you need to click on the particular link and you have to open the device. Next is the format of the Google form will be displayed to you on your screen. Later on, this Google form will get displayed after you enter your Gmail ID and password. I repeat again, this Google form will be displayed on your device after you enter your Gmail ID and your password. Next step, in order to get your access to the Google form, please enter your Gmail ID and password correctly. Now I'll be sharing the Google form on your screen. This is your Google form right in front of you on your device. Akhil Pune Bhavsar Vadhu Suchak Samiti 2022. The first thing you require to fill this Google form is the email address. This email address should be of the candidate or your parent. The next feature in this Google form is the basic details of the bride and the groom. In this section of the basic details of the bride and the bridegroom, the first thing is your first name, what you have to fill about the candidate. Later on, your middle name, the middle name of the candidate has to be filled in correctly. After this, the last name of the bride and the groom, that is the surname. The next section over here will be your address, where you stay, that is your flat, your house number, your street name. It has to be filled in exactly and properly. The next part we're moving in the Google form is the city where you live in. That is the place, the town, the district where you live in. Please mention it very correctly. The next part, we are going to go ahead with the state where you live in. Please enter your PIN code appropriately, the area you live in. The next part we are going ahead is the candidate's mobile number. The bride and the groom's mobile number has to be filled in this Google form. The next field is the gender. Gender is, if the candidate is a male, please see to that you select the male button. And if the candidate is a female, see to that you select the female button. We are proceeding to the next part, that is the marriage category. Now in this marriage category, if the candidate is appearing for his first marriage, you have to click to your first marriage button. If the candidate is getting a remarriage being done, then he has to or she has to go for the remarriage button. This is mandatory. Now, wherever you people have the star buttons, this filling of the Google form is mandatory. The next section where we are moving is physical disability. Now, please note, if there is any kind of disability, you'll have to mention here. And if you have no disability, then you have to apply as NA, that is non-applicable. See to that you fill in this form, which is very important. The next part we're moving ahead is the educational qualification of the candidate. Now in this section, first thing is that all master's degree. In this category, we have all master's degree. The second part is law field. The third comes the CA, CS, ICWA. Then comes the doctors or medical field. Then comes the engineers. In engineers, you get all the field sections over here. The next is graduate. undergraduate, you have all the bachelor's degree, BSc, BCom, BA, IT, or if any other, if you want to apply. The next part is undergraduates. Then comes your diploma. Any diploma can come under this section. Then comes your ITI. Then comes your 12th standard. And if you have done anything else, any other professional courses or conventional courses, then please see to that you'll fill in this part. The next is your education details about your qualification. Okay, so now here comes your education qualification about the candidate. So your occupation should be mentioned over here. Where are you working exactly? If you're working in some firm, bank, or in any company, you all have to name, the candidate has to name here perfectly. Accordingly, your bridegroom is going to take this place. So next comes your monthly salary of the candidate who has applied and filled in the Google form. Monthly salary of the bride and groom should be written over here. The next is your patrika details. Now, next is your, in this details, you all have to fill up the date of birth of the candidate, the date, the month, and the year should be mentioned over here. This is very, very mandatory. Next in this detail column is your birth time. The birth time has to be mentioned over here accurately. The next is the place of birth. In the place of birth, you'll have to mention where you people were being born. That is your birthplace. Now, next is your mamekul. Mamekul is your matriarchal side. That is your mother's side. You'll have to mention that you belong, your mother belongs to which part of the area, or in where does she come from exactly. Next part. The next part is your star. That is your birth sign, your star. Okay. So if you are Mesh, Vrishabha, Mithun, Karka, Simha, or Kanya, Tula, Vichika. So whatever it is, the candidate, whatever birth sign stars you'll have. So you'll have to choose into this column and select your Rashi. The next column we are going into, the next field we are entering into is Nakshatra. Nakshatra. Now you all have to fill in whatever is your Nakshatra accordingly. You all know, candidates, that this horoscope is very important what you fill in. Next comes the Charan. The Charan you all have to fill in of the particular groom, bride. Now next is your Nadi. You all know what is that Nadi section. You all have to fill in exactly and appropriately. Next comes your Gotra. Your family Gotra has to be mentioned over here so that there will be no issues further. The next part where we are coming into is your height, feet, inches. Now here the candidate has to fill in exactly the height. The height, that is, for example, it has to be mentioned in 0.5. All the candidates, please see to that you people follow the example which is being provided to you on the Google form, so that no issues or no problem is going to occur whenever the opposite matrimonial sites are being provided to you. The next part is the complexion. The complexion you'll have to mention over here if the candidate is fair, wheatish, dark, or other. Now, other is just if you are interested in filling it. So if you are having some different complexion, you also can fill into others. The next field we are moving towards is expectations, which is very important. Now, in this expectations column, you'll have to write your expectations about your bride, about the groom, whomever, whatever you people are having in your minds. Make it clear. so that the opposite, that is the bride, the groom, whoever you are selecting, will have a clear view about your image, what you have in your minds going on. Next, we're moving towards the candidate's picture, which is very, very important. Now, when you upload the candidate's picture, please note, when you upload your candidate picture, please note that all fields are mandatory to be filled. Okay. Now, in this part, for uploading your photograph, you need to click on Add File. Then you will get selected files from your device option, and you can upload your photograph over there. See to that you all are going to follow these instructions here very carefully. This is very mandatory. Now, the next is your parents' detail about the bride and the groom, which is very important. All the candidates have to give this information very accurately and very perfectly. Now, the next field we are going towards is the parent's name. The parent's name has to be filled in. The full name has to be given, not only the father's name, the middle name, and the surname has to be filled in accurately over here. The next column, the next field is your parents' occupation. Please mention it clearly. Don't make it very short, just writing business. See to that you mention what kind of business your parents are having, so that it will be clear to the opposite party or the opposite bridegroom for them to select. Now, the next part, whoever is filling this Google form should clearly say what kind of relation are you sharing with the bride and the bridegroom. For example, if this Google form is being filled by your parents or your brother, your sister, you all have to mention in this form, in your answer box, that this form has been filled up by the brother of the groom or the bride, so that it makes it clear to us. The next section is your parents' mobile number. You can give either or both. Mother, father, mobile number also can be provided in this Google form. The next part, we are moving towards a very important section. Now, here we have the registration charges, which is 375 rupees. Now, this is the registration charges, 375 rupees. Now, you need to, after filling up the Google form, you'll have to pay the registration charges to Bhavsar, Vadhu, Melawa. And now you'll have to use this particular UPI link for Bhavsar Samaj. This particular link is being provided to you, and this is a code being given to you. Now, in order to submit your form, you will need to make payment of rupees 375 using QR code from Google Pay, Phone Pay, Bharat Pay, Amazon Pay, and then later on, after paying the amount 375, you have to upload the screenshot which you all have made the payment. That shows that your payment is successful. After paying the amount, later on, if there is any problem, any issues that you are not able to make the UPI payment, there's another option for you being given, that is the bank details, which is being given to you right in front of your screen on your device. Now, here you have the name of the organization, that is Akhil Pune Bhavsar Samaj. The name of the bank is Union Bank, branch Bhavani Pet, Parvani Estate. Now, the saving account number is 381402010008287. The IFC code is being given over here, UBI NO 538141. You need to fill in all these bank details so that the amount 375 rupees will be transferred, and immediately your Google form will be approved by Bhavsar Vadhuvar Samaj Seva Bhav. Now, the next category where you people have to fill in is the bride and the groom will be introduced on the stage during May 22nd meet. Okay, for that reason, you people have to choose one of the following options where the batch number will be introduced to you on the stage. If you all are interested, then please press the yes button. If you're not interested to have an introduction, then you'll have to press the no button. So accordingly, there will be no introduction being given. The bride and the groom will be introduced on the stage during the May 22nd meet. So you need to choose one of the button. I've repeated it again for your notice. The next category you're moving into is if you are willing to advertise or donate. If so, even you are contacted by the organizers, you need to choose one of the options in the account. If you're interested to do or give some kind of advertisement, you have to say yes, otherwise no. So this is all mandatory. You all have to fill up this Google form accordingly. Now, the next field, what we are going to is you'll have to answer, you'll have to put up your answer over here that through whom have you reached this Vadhuvar Melawa. That is, who is your reference, name or number from where you have reached, and that you'll have to mention in this Google form. Now, please note, this is a very important notice. What is being in front of you is that the Vadhuvar Melawa will be arranged on 22nd May and will be charged only 40 rupees per person, as the coupons will be made available at the venue. The lunch will be provided at the venue. I again repeat, on May 22nd, lunch is being arranged at the venue, and per person, the ticket is only 40 rupees. Now, at the last but not the least, I would say that all the above information is being permitted to be printed in the list on the bride, and you also consent to the use of the information to arrange the marriage, and that is the reason you are paying the amount. Now, the last but not the least, we are coming down towards the end of the Google form. See to that before submitting the Google form, you all have to recheck the details which has been given to you appropriately, because the Vadhuvar Suchak or the Vadhuvar organizers are not responsible for any changes what you all have done. It is you people who have to fill in the form, and we are going to do the proceedings. Now, see to that the last part of it is being read carefully by you before you submit it. That is, the above information may be used for arranging the marriage of your ward. The above information is true and correct to the best of your knowledge and your belief. Now, the Vadhuvar Suchak Samiti will not be held responsible for the corrections of the information which you all have provided in the Google form. In case of marriage, engagement of your ward, that is a candidate, you agree to inform the Vadhuvar Suchak Samiti of the same. After reading all the instructions carefully, after filling the form, after filling the mandatory columns, please see to that you submit the form. You people click on the submit form, and then itself your form will be submitted to Bhavsar Vadhuvar Seva Bhav. And then all the proceedings will be done hereafter. Thank you.